It's time for my week 3 predictions. So, starting out with the Dolphins at Bills for Thursday Night Football. This was supposed to be a good game when the schedule makers came up with the game. It's not a good game anymore. The Dolphins are awful. They are an awful team, and I think they're going to have, at best, a 5-win, maybe 6-win season. They are not doing anything. Buffalo is one of the Super Bowl favorites. Buffalo is going to dominate the Dolphins on all sides of the ball. There's just no way the Dolphins are going to keep it close at all. This game's going to be a massive blowout. Maybe the Dolphins can score 20 or so, but the Bills are just going to run over everyone. They're just going to run them all over. Bills win easily. Next game, we get into the Sunday games. Falcons at Panthers. Yeah, Carolina almost had to come back. Is Carolina going to be a team that just slowly gets good as the season goes on? Maybe. However, it's not going to be this game. The Falcons' defense is going to control this game, in my opinion. The Falcons completely ran over Minnesota. The Falcons' defense. The offense was kind of there and kind of not. I think both offenses are probably going to stall out a little bit, but the Falcons' offense is a little bit better than the Panthers' offense. That's going to be the difference maker here. Falcons win. It's going to, I think, be a closer game than some might expect, but I think the Falcons will still win pretty comfortably in the end. Packers-Browns. Browns tried. They tried last game. They really did. The Packers, they're one of the Super Bowl favorites. Their odds are like 1 in 800 to win the Super Bowl, and I believe it. Green Bay is just an insane team right now. Now that they have Micah Parsons, they have turned from a playoff regular to a Super Bowl contender overnight. Their team looks amazing on both sides of the ball. The Browns, they're struggling a little bit. I don't think Joe Flacco is done. I'm going to keep saying this all year. I do not think he's done. He's going to have a great season, in my opinion, but it's not going to be in these first 3 games. These first 3 games were a little bit too tough. I mean, he had a shot with Cincinnati in Week 1, but the Browns, the Ravens and Packers are 2 really good teams, so the Packers are going to win this very easily as well. This will also be another blowout. Browns may keep it close like they did with the Ravens in like the first half, and then it just gets blown open again. I can see that happening in this one. So, Texans, Jaguars. Houston. And Jacksonville too. Jacksonville should have won against the Bengals. I predicted last week that the Jaguars would beat the Bengals, and they should have beaten the Bengals. They should have done it. They should have. But they didn't. The Texans, however, I predicted them to lose to Tampa Bay, and they nearly won. They didn't, thanks to a last-second comeback by Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. But the Texans are 0-2. The Jaguars are 1-1. I personally still think the Jaguars have a shot. I know the Colts are really good, but the Jaguars, I still think, have a shot at the playoffs. I don't think they have a shot. I think they have a shot. The Texans, on the other hand, this is essentially a must-win game. They have an easier game next week. We'll get into that next week. But this is essentially, Houston feels that this is a must-win game for them. Jacksonville, however, knows that they want to compete with the Colts. They can't go 1-2. That's why the Jaguars are going to win. They know they actually have a shot to catch the Colts. And they're going to continue to take that shot. Houston is going to keep it close. They're going to try a lot harder than they've tried. The offense, Houston's defense is a really, really good team. But the offense is not. And that is the problem. The offense cannot go more than 15 yards down the field before their drive stalls and ends. It has not worked for them. The only reason why Houston had a shot and looked like they might win for a moment was because of the special teams. The special teams and the defense are really good, but the offense is not doing well, and it cannot just be because of a bad O-line. There's problems with Stroud, in my opinion. I don't know what's going on with Nick Chubb. They don't have Joe Mixon. Stephon Diggs is no longer on the team. You have Tank Dell, who is hurt. They only have Nico Collins, who is still pretty good, but he's not really getting the ball thrown to him. They have Dalton Schultz, as far as I know. I don't know. I don't know if it's just the O-line. I don't think it is just the O-line anymore. I think it's the O-line and Stroud. Stroud's also apparently allowed audibles now this season. So far, that has not worked. They're 0-2. They have looked better seasons before. They had a stronger O-line, yes, but still. The O-line wasn't very good last year either, and the Texans still went 10-7. So, this might be a Stroud problem. And if Stroud plays the way he's been playing these last couple of weeks, they may end up getting rid of him at the end of the season and looking for the next best quarterback in the draft, which is not going to be Arch Manning. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens with Houston. I'm predicting the Jaguars to win this game. However, DeMeco Ryans knows, and the Texans know, they can't go 0-3, so they're going to try to play hard. However, they have to deal with the problem at quarterback and O-line. They got to deal with that first before they can think about winning the division again. I have the Jaguars winning. Okay, next game. Bengals, Vikings. Now, I predicted the biggest upset last week, and that was the Falcons to rain on J.J. McCarthy's parade, and they did just that. Their defense did just that. The Bengals' defense definitely has improved. We'll say that. They have improved since last season. However, I do not think the Vikings are done. I think what Week 2 was a rough game for J.J. McCarthy. We still don't know how good he's actually going to be. This is only his third game. But we do know the Bengals are without Joe Burrow. He's going to be out for 3 months. This isn't going to be good for the Bengals. The Bengals are going to fall apart. Jake Browning is still an okay quarterback, but he's not Joe Burrow level quarterback. And this Vikings team is still a really good team. So I have the Vikings upsetting the Bengals. I have another, I guess you can say, pretty big upset with the Bengals-Vikings game. Most people might take the Bengals just because of how J.J. McCarthy played. I think that's just one game. That was a fluke game. What we saw against the Bears wasn't pretty either, but that last quarter, J.J. McCarthy. So is what I'm talking about. That fourth quarter, J.J. McCarthy in the Bears game. That is, I think, the true J.J. McCarthy. He just hasn't been able to play that way for an entire game. So I think if Minnesota, even if the Vikings don't play very well, but they still keep it close because of the defense and the offense stalls out, and then J.J. McCarthy becomes, I guess, fourth quarter J.J. McCarthy from the Bears and is able to lead them and win. I can see that happening, and that might be the way Minnesota wins, but I have Minnesota winning this game. Whether they win it that way or they win it right, Minnesota's going to win. Next game, Steelers at Patriots. This game has me on edge. I might have overhyped Pittsburgh's first game a little bit too much. I thought they were better than they were, and they got blown out by the Seahawks. Now granted, if that special teams mistake did not happen, Pittsburgh probably would have had a shot to win that game. However, the Patriots team played good last last week. The Patriots played well last week. They didn't play well week 1, but they played well week 2. This Patriots team is a slow-moving Patriots team, and I still think it's going to be a little bit before we see true full-bloom Drake May, full-bloom Patriots. Because of that, I have Pittsburgh winning. The Steelers are still a pretty reliable, pretty consistent team. This is going to probably be another average Steelers season, going 9-8 or 10-7, and maybe making the first round of the playoffs and then getting blown out in the first round and going out. That's how I think the season's going to go for Pittsburgh. We'll see, but I have Pittsburgh winning this game by probably a field goal. I would say this game is going to probably be a very close game. Next game. Rams at Eagles. Well. The team that nearly put us out last year, we get to play week 3. They're 2-0, we're 2-0. We're going to win. That's all I got. No, that's not all I have to say. But we're going to win. Here's why. Rams played a shaky Texans team and a Titans team that is warming up but is not there yet. And they still struggled at times against the Titans and the Texans. Granted, their defense was good, but still. Eagles, they played the Cowboys without Jalen Carter, and we just knocked off Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. So you tell me, out of what I just mentioned, who's the better team? Philadelphia is going, and I think they're going to storm the Rams. I think the Rams are overrated. Do I think they're a playoff team? Yes. However, I don't think they are good enough to win the division. I think Seattle's winning the division this year. The 49ers, they're getting beat down right now. The Eagles are going to expose the Rams. They will. They're going to do it. The Rams aren't going 3-0 when we're playing them. If we can beat the Cowboys without Jalen Carter, and we can beat this Chiefs team, we don't know how good Kansas City is going to be right now. And if they do lose this week, I will say that they are falling down completely. But I still think the Chiefs still have some fight left in them. So I'm going to count it. The Eagles are going to beat the Rams. The Rams have played pretty much right now, pretty much no one this year. And now the Eagles are going to expose them. Or this will be a test to see how good LA actually is. If LA surprises me and LA wins this game, I'm probably going to flip out, but I'll also give the Rams more credit than they do. However, the Eagles are still going to win, and I'm not going to be wrong about this. Eagles win. They win by probably a score. Next game, Jets at Buccaneers. I don't know what to make of this Jets team. I don't. They look great against Pittsburgh, and then they fall apart against Buffalo. Justin Fields is not going to be playing. Don't know who their backup is. Someone can tell me in the comments if there's comments on this video. Tampa Bay has played 2 close games with the Falcons, who I think are pretty good, and the Texans, who I think should be at least decent this year. I think they will work the offense out eventually. The Buccaneers have won those games by a score. The Jets have came close to beating Pittsburgh. The Jets are not going to win this game. The Jets do not look good. They don't look good enough. But I think the Jets are going to keep it at least somewhat close, even with the backup quarterback. I think the Jets are going to keep it close enough for it to be, for them to have a shot throughout the entire game. The Buccaneers, they're going to go 3-0. They're going to win the division. I think Atlanta is going to come close this year, but it's not going to happen. Tampa Bay is going to win the division. And the Jets are going 0-3. Next game. Oh boy. The Colts at Titans. You can see it. Cam Ward is looking better and better. He's looking more comfortable. This Titans team is looking more comfortable. However, they're going up against a team that has completely shattered expectations for this season. They said, you know how we're supposed to have like 5-6 wins? Yeah, we're going to have like 13. The Colts are going to win the AFC South. They're going to do it. The Titans are just going to they're just going to stand by and watch. The Colts are going to run up and down the field. The defense is not going to stop, I guess, Indiana Jones, whatever his nickname is now. And the Colts are going to win. The Titans will keep it close, and Cam Ward will play a great game, and he will look the best he's looked yet. However, it's not going to win. It's not going to matter. The Colts are going to win, but the Titans are going to make sure it is at least a dogfight. And the Colts will probably win, similar to how they beat the Broncos last week. Which that game was still crazy, by the way. Colts absolutely deserved that win. The Broncos, they should have won, but we'll get into the Broncos later. Next game, Raiders Commanders. I picked the Commanders to beat the Packers last week. That's right, I did it. That was a mistake. That was the biggest mistake of this channel so far. Yeah, I just wasn't expecting Green Bay to just blow everyone's blow away like this. I expected Green Bay to have a really great season. I didn't expect this, and I thought maybe, just maybe, Jerry Jones is right. Of course he was not. And Micah Parsons, while he was playing, was not going to be able to stop Jane Daniels. I was wrong big time on that one. The Raiders completely disappointed me. Completely. I predicted the Chargers to beat the Raiders, but I wanted the Raiders to at least put up a fight. They didn't, but they put up three field goals. The score was 20-9. I don't know what's going on with Geno Smith. I don't know what's happening anymore with the Raiders. The Raiders look great against New England. New England, they're warming up. The The Commanders are a team that I still think can make the playoffs. Do I think they're going to go to the NFC Championship game? Not with how good the Eagles and Packers are. But I think they'll at least make a playoff spot and maybe go to the next round. Maybe win a playoff game. They're not going to go past that, though. The Raiders, they're going 1-2. The Raiders completely disappointed me. The Commanders, this is going to be a bounce-back game for them. This game I still think will be somewhat close, even though I predicted that for the last Raiders game. That didn't happen. And even with the Commanders still put up a fight towards the end of the game with the Packers. So they had enough. I think they had it. If they started sooner with coming back, they would have, in my opinion, I think, had enough in them to maybe win that game. But they just couldn't get going early enough, and the Commanders lost that game. They won't lose this one, though. The Raiders don't know what they're doing. And the Commanders, they're going to win. Next game, Broncos at Chargers. Oh, Denver, oh, Denver, oh, Denver. I don't know what to do. You have all these expectations coming into the season. You're supposed to win the division. You're supposed to This is supposed to be the first year in like 9 years that the Chiefs do not win the division. You're supposed to win it. You're supposed to get it. You're supposed to maybe even make the AFC title game. I wouldn't say that they have completely disappointed expectations yet. However, they're playing the team that is going to make them 1-2. They're playing the Chargers. The Chargers. They're not playing the Titans. Well, they already played the Titans. They're not playing the Jets. They're not playing the Patriots. They're not playing the Saints. They're playing the Chargers. They have looked incredible thus far. The Colts, they're a surprise team this year. I would say the Chargers are equally as surprising in my opinion. I did not expect the Chargers to go 2-0 by this point. I thought they were going 1-1. I thought the Broncos were going 2-0 by this point because I wasn't expecting the Colts to be as good either. But the Chargers, they look good. They look ready, and they look like they're going to win the division this year. And Jim Harbaugh knows that if they win this game, they have very solid control of the division. Even if the Raiders win and go 2-1, they have solid control. Why? Because they've beaten them already. They've beaten everyone in their division if they can beat the Broncos. That's already a great sign going into the season for the Chargers. The Chargers have looked incredible. Justin Herbert has looked incredible. The defense has looked incredible. The running game has looked incredible. Everyone's looked incredible. Offensive line, everything, everyone. That's why they're going to win. The Broncos have too many missing pieces right now. If they had Greenlaw back, I would say maybe Denver has a chance. Maybe stop the run game. That's really the only thing they can do at this point to beat the Chargers. Why? Because it looks like Jim Harbaugh has structured this team similar to how he structured Michigan. And it's worked thus far, so we'll see. But the Chargers, they should win this game. They'll probably win by a touchdown. Next game, Saints at Seahawks. Seahawks. Like I said when I was talking about the Rams, I think Seattle's winning the division this year. What I expected Seattle to look like against the 49ers is what they looked like against the Steelers of all teams. The one time I picked against them, they decided to win and blow me away. That's why Seattle is going to lose. No, I'm just kidding. They're going to win this game. They're going to dominate. It's the Saints. They're 0-2. They look competitive against a beat-down 49ers team. And they look somewhat competitive against the Cardinals, which isn't a good sign. Those are two teams in their division that the Saints have looked competitive with Spencer Rattler at quarterback. That's why the Seahawks are going to easily dominate the Saints. They're going to go 2-1. The we'll see. We'll talk about the Cardinals, but everyone ahead of them except for the we'll talk about that game. But they're going to be all I have to say is they're going to go from 4th in the division to 2nd in the division. Easy win. I'm not going to spend time talking about this one. This is going to be an easy game for the Seahawks. Cowboys, Bears. Bears, no more. I thought maybe Ben Johnson would do it. Maybe he will. And maybe he'll do it in Chicago. When Detroit comes to town in Chicago. Maybe I'll pick him then in maybe a close game. The Bears really do still suck. They do. They do. It's over. No amount of coaching is going to help this Bears team. And we're seeing that with Ben Johnson. This isn't a good team. This isn't. And the Cowboys, are they great? No, they're not. But they can still get it done, and they're going to go 2-1. They will. They went into a shootout with New York, which I don't know if that means New York is going to be a good team this year, or if it means the Cowboys are just going to be an awful team this year. But the Bears are worse, and the Cowboys will win this game. Bears are going 0-3. Cowboys are going 2-1. However, that's not going to last for Dallas. But, yeah, Cowboys, they win this game easily. Next game, Cardinals at 49ers. Okay. So Cardinals nearly blew that game. 49ers also had a shot to blow that game. The 49ers are too banged up. They're too banged up. They are. They lost too many pieces during the offseason, and the pieces they kept with them are injured now. They have a few players. Brock Purdy might play, but still, they're not going to win this game. The Cardinals, they have looked pretty good so far. They did look like they might blow it with the Panthers. And the Saints, well, they did look somewhat competitive. The Saints did look competitive with them. But the Cardinals are a better team than a beat-up 49ers team. The Cardinals will go 3-0. The 49ers are going to go 2-1, and they're going to start dropping. They're losing too many pieces. It's not going to be sustainable. And the Cardinals will win this game probably by at least by 5 points. It's going to be a close game, I think, but the Cardinals will still win this game. Final game of Sunday. I don't know why this is Sunday Night Football, but okay. Chiefs at Giants. Finally, the Chiefs get an easy game. Easy. Who knows what's easy to them anymore? I don't know. This should be, relatively. However, New York looked incredible against the Cowboys. So, I don't know. The Chiefs need receivers. That's the big thing. They don't have really anyone at the receiving position that's really any good. But however, it doesn't help when your quarterback is overthrowing them wide open and Travis Kelce is dropping the ball every time it's thrown to him. The Chiefs should win this game. I don't think it's time to hit the panic button just yet for Kansas City. If Kansas City blows this one to New York, and I'll be laughing if they do, even though it is the Giants, I will still be laughing if New York actually beats them. The Chiefs then need to hit the panic button, the reset button. That's when the Chiefs need to do it, not now. Give it a few weeks. Give them this week. If they don't win this game, though, this is, in my opinion, a must-win for Kansas City to show the world that they still are going to be have somewhat of a shot this season at maybe defending their AFC title if they even get there. So, Chiefs are going to win this game. They have to win this game, and if they don't, I'm going to be laughing. But they also need to hit the panic button. Finally, what might be the best game this week, Lions at Ravens. Alright. Both teams are 1-1. The Lions looked incredible against the Bears, so clearly their problems are solved. They got the Ravens. The Ravens are not the Bears. And if they didn't have a good showing against the Packers, going up against the Ravens is going to be a problem. Why? Because the Ravens have put up 40 points every time they've played this season, during the regular season. They put up 40 against the Bills, and they put up 41 against the Browns. The Ravens are going to win this game. They're too good of a team, and the Lions, still in my opinion, haven't been able to beat the better teams. The Bears, they're not a good team. So that makes sense why they put a 50 burger on them. However, the Lions will keep it close. This will be, I think, similar to the Bills-Ravens game. I think the Lions will keep it close, somewhat. But the Ravens will still win, assuming they choke it away like they did against the Bills. That's the only way the Lions win, in my opinion. But I think the Ravens should win this game very easily. Not easily. That bad word. Bad choice of words. They will win this game, and they will show that they are the better team. Let's say it that way. So that's what I have as my predictions. Yeah, we almost kept it under 30 minutes. Yeah, so that's what I have for my predictions. I have two other channels, Southwest Gamer and Legos Models. I do like Retro Bowl, Hoopland, Madden games on Southwest Gamer, and then I do Legos on Legos Models. Both this channel and Legos Models will be renamed in the future, so just keep an eye on that. So, see you guys in the next video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And,